Alright, so today I'm going to be installing the JBR oil catch can kit. It is the stage 2 version, so I have a few extra parts in it than the stage 1. So I got a check valve, little drain hose that goes and connects to the bottom, some cable ties, the actual catch can, the little mounting bracket, bunch of worm clamps, and then finally the two hoses that go and connect it up to the Pcv hose. So this one right here is going to be going to the intake manifold, and then this one right here is going to be connecting to the stock Pcv hose connector. Oh yeah, and then you got a bunch of instructions here, like 19 pages worth or something like that, but yeah, we don't really need those. So alright, just to give a brief overview of what we're going to be doing, we're going to go and unbolt the intake manifold from the head. Basically there's 5 bolts, one here, 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 and finally the last one. The reason why we're going to be doing that is so that we can go and pull the Pcv hose back from behind the intake manifold. You can actually see it right there. That's what we're going to be doing. So now we're going to go and disconnect it, is just go and basically use our thumbs on this side, and then use your other hand, your left hand, to come in and push in on that side. So basically we're just going to be pinching this, and then we're going to go and pop it off. And actually I can't do it, but yeah, so just to make it easier on ourselves, we're going to go and unbolt this, pull it back, that way we can get our hands behind there a lot easier, and pop that off. And then we're going to go and remove the Airbox. It's real simple. So all we're going to do is disconnect the map sensor, and then go and unhook the silicone coupler from the intake pipe, and then we can just go and pop this out. You also got to go and pop this apart. But alright, so I'm just going to go and disconnect this, move that off to the side, and then I'm going to go and loosen up these clamps. Alright, so the coupler is disconnected from the airbox. So the airbox is just retained by two little, or actually 3 things that just kind of snap into place. So just kind of lift up on it, and they should kind of pop out. Sometimes this one in the corner is difficult for me, but right now I'm just gonna go and remove the 5 bolts that go and secure the intake manifold to the head. I'm using a 10mm wrench, but on the stock intake manifold, I think you can just use a socket set, and it's just much easier to go that route. But just use like a 10mm socket, and you can get those out real quick. Alright, so just to show you where we're going to be mounting the catch can to, it is going to be right there. Okay, so I got the intake manifold disconnected from the head. That way you can go and pull it back a little bit, so you can get your hands to the back to go and disconnect the Pcv hose. I've already done that. So the hose connector is right here. You can see it actually swivels, so you can also see a bunch of oil coming out of it. But what you want to do is you want to swivel it so that it's pointing towards the driver's side, and that's pretty much it. Alright, now we're going to go and assemble the catch can. It's real simple. Just put the bracket on there, put the bolts on, put the nuts on. Use a 11mm socket or whatever to go and tighten it down. Alright, now the bracket is on, so we're going to go and mount this to the actual car now. Alright, so we're on the bottom side of the car now, and so this is what you want to be taking off. You take off the bolt that's on the back side. It's going to be a 8mm. Just want to take that off, and then we can go and put the old catch can onto that. Alright, so what you want to do is actually put the bracket between the ECU mounting arm, or whatever you want to call it, and the frame of the car. So you just want to try and like squeeze it in between the two, and then with your other hand you would go and thread the bolt back in. Alright, so here it is with it mounted. It does move around just a little bit, but it's kind of expected since you only have one bolt and it's bolted up to the very top of the little catch can. But it seems to stay in place kind of decently. Alright, so let's get the hoses hooked up. So we're going to go and hook up this one to the Pcv hose that we pulled off. Basically, we're going to go and hook it up right up to this thing. It should snap right in. Alright, you can see it's hooked up. And I think, make sure this is still on. Make sure it didn't come loose or anything like that. Alright, now we're going to go and install this hose onto the back of the intake manifold, and it'll be installing right onto that fitting right there. But first we're going to go and cut this in half and install the check valve. So we're going to go and do that now. Alright, so I cut it. Now we're just going to go and install the check valve. If you look, the check valve actually has an arrow. Hold on. It actually has an arrow pointing in the direction of the intake manifold, or where you're going to be connecting it to the intake manifold. And that's the direction that you want to don't have it pointing. You want to have it pointing the other way. So I have the check valve installed. The clamp's tight. Now let's go and put a clamp at the end of this. And then we're going to go and install it on the back of the intake manifold. Alright, so I have it started. You can actually see it. I'm going to go and push it on all the way. I just want to show you how easy it is to actually get to it from when you actually have enough space by going and pulling the intake manifold out. Alright, so I've ran the lines behind this coolant hose right here. So they come down and go behind here. It's also them down that far, it'll be out of the way of the shifter arm. So now, as you can see, I have a bunch of extra hose left over. So basically, gonna go and just cut it off so that I'll have this whole extra hose. So to hook these up, what you're gonna need to do is the hose coming off of the PCV valve hose, that is going to go on the bottom, which is going to be the inlet, and then the outlet is going to be on the top, and that's going to go and connect to the hose that has the check valve, and that leads directly into the intake manifold. So I'm going to go and cut these hoses to length, and then I'm going to go and throw some clamps on them, and then hook them up. Alright, so these hoses are going on a little hard, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and pull the dipstick and get some of the oil off of that, and I'll just go and put it on like inside, or actually I'll just go and put it on the actual nipple. Alright, so I got the inlet on. Now I'm going to go and put the hose that goes to the intake manifold, and the one that has the check valve, onto the top, or the outlet. As you can see, put a little bit of oil on it, that way it goes on easier. So I'm going to go and put that one on. Alright, so everything's hooked up, the inlet and the outlet. Things ran okay. Nothing's in the way of the shifter arm. Now you just want to go and basically just double check all your connections, make sure that they're tight. And oh yeah, there's one other thing. You probably want to go and look at where the PCV valve actually is on the side of your block, and look at the connector right here. Just make sure you didn't accidentally pop it out or anything like that while you're going and attaching this. And finally, what you're gonna want to do is the splash guard that's on the bottom of the car. That obviously is off right now. You want to go and like cut a hole. That way this hose can fit down through it, and then you can go and just go and drain it. Right now, you want to go and basically put everything back together. So you want to go and install your intake manifold back onto the head and tighten it down, and then your airbox, go and reconnect that. Don't forget to go and reconnect your